The FTC has very significant powers in going after a telemarketing company or any other a company involved in alleged consumer fraud. I think the easiest way for me to describe that is by example. Imagine that you're a business person and you've built up a business over 5 or 10 years. Perhaps you have a dozen or 24 employees. You're successful, you're doing well, and everything is comfortable, and you get a knock on the door. And when you answer the door, you're greeted by perhaps a dozen or 24 men and women in suits, law enforcement officers, often with guns drawn, and you're presented with 2 or 3 banker's boxes full of legal documents, and you're told that number 1, your business has been sued by the FTC. Number 2, you personally have been sued by the FTC as well. Your company's assets are frozen. Your personal assets are frozen. You have a few days to provide the government with financial statements under oath. You have a few days to find and retain a lawyer without, generally speaking, without having any access to your own money, your own assets. You have to pick up the phone, if you can imagine, and call your spouse and tell him or her not to use the ATM card, not to buy groceries. You now have a court order from a federal judge that restrains you from living your normal life. It's a very, very challenging situation. What I do is I resolve those kinds of challenges, and they are very difficult for the client as well as the attorneys involved. So the FTC has very significant powers. These orders are obtained without notice to the defendant, something that's not common in the larger legal world. So this represents a very significant challenge to our clients.